Back to the Unarmored Talk Podcast, everyone. I am your host, Mario P. Fields. For you first time listeners and viewers, welcome. And for those folks who have been listening to this voice or watching me on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for the years of support. And you guys know the deal. Every episode is for charity. And anytime you like, share, or watch any videos or listen to any of the audio episodes, you are generating charitable dollars that's donated to my nonprofit that is Still Serving Incorporated. www.stillservinginc.com is the URL that leads you to the website if you want to learn more about what we're doing here in North Carolina. So with that said, I have another amazing guest who's willing to remove their armor to help people understand to think through life challenges is a choice. We have Traci Neal. She is amazing. She says she's a simple person, but I disagree. I don't even think it was up for agreement or disagreement, but I'm going to let you guys get to know a little bit about Traci. She's an author, she's a poet, she's probably more than that. I know she is, and I can't wait to jump into this fun episode. Traci, what's going on?
Thank you so much for having me.
I am blessed and honored to have you. Can you do me a favor and tell the audience a little bit about you?
Yes, so I like to tell people that I pretty much started from the ground up. 4 years ago, I used to be a pre-K aide, which is a teacher's assistant. And so I always had a love for writing since I was young, 5 years old. And I really wanted to pursue poetry when I was a teenager. My mom really instilled that in me because at 14, I performed my first poem. And
Wow.
I was the youngest in the room amongst college students and adults. And so my mom told me, like, yep, you got it. So but I think after a while, as time went on, my family thought this is not going to be a stable career, so you should try something else. So I tried to pursue teaching and tried for 10 years to be an elementary school teacher, and it never happened. But I think during that time, it instilled in me to keep going and to never give up. So when I was finally had that courage to pursue the poetry full time, it just took off, and it hasn't
Wow.
stopped since it started.
Well, you talk about never giving up and having these unexpected things happen to you. From my basic understanding, recently you were diagnosed with some things that people may perceive as mental challenges, but we're going to talk about today the advantages of what you're going to let us know. What is it? What am I talking about here?
Yes. So last year, October 19th, so pretty soon it'll be
Wow.
1 year. October 19th, 2023, I got officially diagnosed with autism and ADHD.
Wow. How did you feel as soon as they said that here's what's going on with you, Tracy?
The autism I was not surprised about. That was originally what I went in for, but the ADHD, I was shocked. I just thought I had high energy.
And then here it is. They gave you some diagnosis that brought some clarity to the why. Why am I? How many people say, when you gonna sit down? Aren't you tired? When you gonna get some rest?
Well, the funny thing was, I was very well behaved in school. As you mentioned, I'm simple, so my brain is like basic with my autism. So it's like, sit down, do what you're supposed to do, and I would do it. So I was not a misbehaved child throughout growing up. So no teachers detected it. And I guess I was able to mask and open up around children. Children was where I was able to release all my energy. So me and children are like this.
Being in an environment that allows you to really maximize this kind of a sometimes has a negative stigma around it. Any mental health, illness or disorder. So, what if you can for me and the viewers, what are some advantages, Tracy, that you have experienced you would like to share?
Yes, I have 5. And
Yeah,
mind you, neurodivergence is unique, but I think that these really speak to us as a people, and I just want to once I give you a point, share my personal views on it as well.
yeah. You see how excited I am.
Okay, so number 1 is think outside the box. So with me, I did not know going in what I was doing. Like I said, I came from the ground up. And at first I got a lot of rejection, but I just, figured, okay, that didn't work. Let me see what else I can do, like what spaces I can navigate. Because when I started, I actually started in radio. I was doing being a podcast guest on radio. And the advantage for me was I was raised to be very mannerly. So I saw that, being polite and being appreciative was an advantage for me. So I just used that and I would just reach out to people. It's still working. So I
That
still
is
do it and I love it. So from there I did like magazines and I really got things really started taking off with the New York Times. I tried 3 times to get in the New York Times, third time's a charm. But the third time my mindset was different that, I want to impact lives. I want to help people. So I need to take myself out of it. This isn't about Tracy. This is about helping, a variety of people. So
and you
that
guys
time I just decided to be more vulnerable and talk about rejection that I experienced growing up and how I use poetry as an outlet.
Yeah, you guys hear, Tracy's thinking out of the box for point number one. Got her in the New York Times. I've been trying to think out of the box, and I think the only publication I got was Mario P. Field's Instagram. Maybe somebody put a comment. That was amazing, but that is cool. What's number 2?
Number 2 is creativity is endless.
Mm.
So I just love to think, like I said, think outside the box. And then with my autism, I have a huge imagination. So, I'm like one of them people that, okay, we could do beyond that. Let's try something new. Let's do something different. And I like to say that when me and my husband watch movies, we can tell right away if the person is neurodivergent because the creativity is so awesome. It's just so distinct and I love it. I love the creativity.
I never looked at it like this. By the way, you guys know I'm clinically diagnosed with ADHD, so that's why this episode is also personally very refreshing to me. I am medicated, but and I never looked at it like now. Now I'm gonna start watching movies a little bit differently. Going, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. They gotta be neurodivergent. So which number 3?
Number 3 is strong work ethic.
Yeah.
We can work hard. And
Yes.
I know for my ADHD, I like growing up, I could knock out schoolwork really fast than my classmates. And it was so funny because I actually had asked my parents, like, why did y'all put me in advanced classes? And I wasn't really advanced. And they were like, well, we didn't want you to be around misbehaved kids. But
Mm.
I was able to get the work done. Like, if you told me exactly what you wanted me to do, I could knock that out and then some. We give
Man,
110%.
oh, Tracy, you're making me feel so not alone. I mean, last night, I mean, it's almost midnight. I, I'm not lying to you. I picked up everything in the great room, in the kitchen, in the nook. I got the vacuum cleaner going, and I did. And I was like, Nicole, my wife said, so since you got so much energy, can you make me a peanut butter toast? I said, yeah, that's easy. But you're right. That work ethic, it sometimes it get us in trouble. But yes. What's number 4? You got me. Me, if I didn't have a permanent tan, you would see me blushing if y'all watching. But y'all, I'm gonna blush with my eyes. What's number 4, Tracy?
Yes, motivated to learn. So when we want to do something, we really want to learn something, we're motivated to learn and we're
Mhm.
gonna figure it out. And so for me personally, I'm married and I knew that I needed to know how to cook. So growing up, I had difficulty using a knife. And so what I did was started to watch like romance cooking movies and listen to like chefs and how they directed, the people on how to properly use a knife and stuff. And that's how I learned how to use a knife. So little things like that, could go a long way. You're not limited just because it doesn't matter what like stage or level you're on, you can learn, and we're motivated to learn.
I love it. And what's last? What's your number 5?
It's succeeds in self-interest. And I feel like I'm an example of that with the poetry. I consume myself in it. Like I'm all about, figuring out different ways to get the message across. And the cool thing about it was when I just started thinking that I would just be performing on the side. Like I didn't even think that it was gonna, turn into what it turned into. Because at the time I was still working full time, but I was doing my poetry on the side and going to different venues and performing. That's what I thought I was gonna be doing. And then
That
when the pandemic hit, it was like, okay, I'm going to have to do something else, like really. And so, just like thinking outside the box, I was just like, okay, I need to figure out a different way of doing this. And so, like I said, one thing led to another. Networking, talking to people, just being friendly. It just opened up a lot of doors. But as I said, New York Times really, set it apart because it's different,
right. Wow. You guys, Tracy, you are amazing. And everyone, some of you may have children that have been recently diagnosed for this episode, autism and ADHD. Some of you as adults may, like Tracy, just what, a year ago, and I'm taking your 15 right now. No, I'm just
I'm 35. I got diagnosed at 34.
Oh man, but as a an adult, you get this diagnosis, and I hope you take the 5 advantages that Tracy highlighted. Again, think out of the box. Don't constrict your ability to think, without barriers, if you will. Right. Number 2, curious. Right, that creativity, being curious and being very creative. That work ethic is just amazing. That self motivation, right? That self reflect. Hey, let's get it, let's go, and then taking whatever goals you set. Essentially, I got Tracy. Your number 5 is succeed. Be don't stop. Don't give up. You guys heard she wanted to be a teacher for 10 years, and she didn't give up. She got back into poetry, and look what's going on. And the last thing I want to give to you is your nonverbals. Nonverbals are 93% of communication. And Tracy, just your nonverbals is motivating the hell out of me. And I'm assuming from my own research that comes also as an advantage with being autistic and ADHD, your personality.
Yes, I can say it on my face exactly how I
Yes.
feel.
That's why I keep smiling. I'm like, I feel so comfortable. I'm in a room with a peer. The virtual space with the colleague mentally. All right. Well, I would, you and I know with what we could do is we have the potential to stay on this show for 5 to 6 hours and have a blast, but I'm not going to do that. Any last remarks you would like to leave our listeners and viewers?
Yes, 2 points. I want to say enjoy the journey
Mm,
and take it one day at a time.
I
That's
love
for
it.
anyone.
I love it.
It's about the journey. Like people are just so quick to be like, I want to get there. But it's the journey that teaches you those lessons and the values that you need to even appreciate when you get there. And when you
Uh,
take it one day at a time, you just alleviate stress off of you because the day is gonna have problems. It's gonna have hiccups. But when you take it one day at a time, like I'm gonna get through this day. And as long as I can get through this day, if I make it to the next day, then hey, one more day at a time.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. so much. How can people find you? How can people learn more about Tracy?
Yes, I tell people I am not on social media, but I'm in the media. So if you want to find me, if you want to find me, I can be found on my website, which is tracinealspeakerpoet.com.
I love
One
that.
stop shop.
I am not on social media. I am in the media. Man, I love that. Well, you guys know the deal. I hope you have fun with this fun episode. But in a few weeks, if you listen to me or you see me on the YouTube channel, again, a couple of weeks, we'll have another amazing guest on the show. But until then, I will continue to pray that God blesses you, the viewers and listeners, your family members, your friends, and all living beings around you. Tracy, be safe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.